Today is March 12th, the year 2012. The time is 8:54 a.m. It's Monday morning, and time moved forward 1 hour today for the spring equinox. During the night, I had a very profound experience during meditation that I was moved to share through this voice recording. It started off, my intentions was to embody my higher self, to assist me to accessing the key to unlock the doors of consciousness within myself, so I may go to my next level of service on the planet Earth. I was guided to a parallel reality where I was amongst familiar faces, and they was gathering to commune with one another. And as I saw these familiar faces, they saw me, but they looked at me very strangely, because while everyone was walking in a vertical left, right, left step motion fashion, I was floating in a horizontal Superman fashion, but without the supersonic speed. And I was more floating in a Casper the Ghost type of way. So as they was getting everything together to commune with one another and have fun, I didn't want to participate. And to this day, I still have problems being around large crowds of people and participating in such things for long periods of time. So as I normally do, I go off to myself. And what I did was I went into the next room. So once I went into the next room, a person from the other side closed the door. And when he closed the door, that started the timeline for the next reality that I was into. And for you to get a good depiction of my experience during the night, I'm going to relate it to the Matrix movie as best I possibly can, so you can get a better understanding. Now, as I went through this doorway, I was in an infinite blackness of space. And I can see a light, and I focus on this light to bring it closer to me. So I use the infinity sign around my eyes, and I focus on the center point. And to get a visualization of that, it's the number 8 turned on its side, looking at the center point of where the two circles meet to make the infinity sign. It became closer and closer and closer so I can actually see what the shape was. And it was a geometrical shape of, looked like to be crystals. Of the crystals, one up and one downward. And to depict this in the Matrix, we have to go to the third Matrix movie, where Neo went to the mainframe of the computer to access the Matrix, to re-enter the Matrix, to change the probabilities of what could possibly happen. So as I saw this entity, it was without eyes and mouth, and it didn't speak to me, but it had the same geometrical shape. I was then led to a hallway, and this hallway is going to be depicted by the first Matrix movie, where Neo was in the hallway when he got shot by the agent. So I'm going down this hallway, and this hallway is in my grandparents' home. So as I went down the hallway, I see two flashing eyes that attracted me, so I went into it. And as I went into it, it took me into another reality in a golden ratio spiral type fashion. And this I will relate to the Matrix movie, where Neo was in the chair. This is the first Matrix. When he touched the mirror after meeting Morpheus and the other teammates of the Nebuchadnezzar, the material of the mirror started to take over his body. And as it got up to his throat, he opened up his mouth, and it took him down the rabbit hole, per se, in the golden ratio type of spiral. and he was reborn on the other side. Well, as I went down this hole of blackness and I was reborn on the other side, I was in the womb. And as I was in this womb, I can feel and see this fluorescent white bright light around me, and it's flashing, it's pulsing with my heartbeat. So I'm in constant communication with my heart, because my heart is the portal right now. And I can see myself. And when I saw myself, I saw my face being burned. It wasn't a drip, a run. It was a burn as in ash. But right beside my face, I saw a freshly newborn baby's hand. So I got the enlightenment that I was being reborn. So I was going through the death and resurrection process, just as the Christ did, just as Neo did in the hallway. And when Neo came back from the other side, it was through the compassion and love that Trinity was showing him. Well, as I was seeing myself, what brought me through the death and resurrection process was giving myself that love and compassion and accepting myself totally with the good and the bad things. I integrated them. We merged together. So as I saw my freshly new face saw me. And at this point, we're not in a dream state. We're in a state where Morpheus told Neo in the first Matrix that how would you know if you're in the real world or the fake world? How would you know which one is the real world? And at that point, I asked myself, which one am I really? Because it appeared to be that I was looking into a mirror. But just as I was looking at myself, I know myself was looking at me. So we looked at each other. We integrated with each other. We made love with one another. And I became complete. I became one. And I felt that we both had the same emotion and complete awe and wonder. And it was an amazing experience for us both. And I've had this experience in this which world is real type of situation before, but I saw myself from the back. I didn't see myself face to face as I did now. And as I was holding on to the vision through the center point of the infinity sign, it started fading away. And I was trying to hold on to it as long as I possibly could. But it faded away, and I knew I had to allow it to fade away. So as it faded away, I was back into this infinite blackness of space. But this time I see ones and zeros, just as the ones and zeros you see on the matrix that they have to decode. Only the encryption is in what I call alien writing. I don't really like to use the word alien, but I will use it for the sake of conversation, where everything is decoded. Where in this blackness of space, infinite amount of space, there was ones and zeros. And ones and zeros, of course, is the binary code that the computer reads. So I felt at that point that I had the access to codes of consciousness, and I unlocked the doors. And now these codes are now just are flowing through my being, through the totality of my iron presence. And so I just sat and watched until the vision no longer held the reality for me to see. And on awakened state, I just reviewed it, and it brings me to the point to say that we all have had trauma in our life, whether it was from childhood or trauma that we're going through now. And most of it stems from a traumatized childhood. And we all experience that. And that's a part of life. And we won't allow ourselves to go forward unless we let that go. We have to let go all the trauma that we ever been through and understand that that was a process of our life experiences through spiritual growth. That's the reason why we encounter that, and we should embrace the darkness that we had during our childhood to become complete, because we won't be able to become complete and be ready for the process of ascension if we try to hold on to these things that binds us to this reality. We have to let it go. And in order to let it go, you have to let go, forget, and forgive the things that will so-called happen to you bad. Because once you come to a higher spiritual enlightenment, you realize that you designed your life. You picked your parents, you picked every living situation that you was going to experience in this reality, because you knew that those situations is what you're going to be needing to build the power of your I am presence on this planet Earth, to perform your life work, to be a way shower, to be an ambassador of peace, to be a leader, to show others what you can do. And as Neo said at the ending of the first Matrix movie, I can feel you now. You know, you fear us. You fear what we can do, and they fear losing control. And this is why there's so much drama and tyranny going on the planet right now, because they're afraid of losing, but they've already lost. And I don't want to make a transition of this conversation into a war, because we're not at war. We can't make peace with war. War begets war. Violence begets violence. We can only do this thing by bringing peace, and not by bringing peace to the opposing force, but bringing peace to yourself, because you are the opposing force. We've been trained through through society's ways, through the rulers of the world, the management team, that using our five senses lock us into this reality, and it does. But when we come spiritually enlightened enough, we understand that nothing is without, everything is within. And you are the camera projecting the outward image that you actually see. And as I've always told people now for many years, since a teenager, that they are selling us all the technology that we are capable of doing ourselves. As far as cameras, as far as cell phones, computers, any type of technology that you can imagine, they're building this stuff from what we already naturally are capable of doing. So I speak this to you because I felt that I needed to share it, and I hope that my words will help you in a high spiritual way, because I know many others are going through this integrating process, and it's very important, necessary, if you plan on making a shift when the transitional time comes. So I love you guys, and I know that my words are helping you, because you're helping me to help you, and in return, in actuality, we're helping each other. And I know that my voice is coded in such a way that it radiates the love and light and essence of my soul to you, and you can feel that. So whatever your illogical mind don't understand, you must know that your soul and subconscious mind know exactly what I speak of, because I'm speaking to the molecular structure of your being. I'm speaking past all the third dimensional points of your knowing. I'm speaking past your doubts. I'm speaking to the core of you, the higher you. And I'm just a beacon of light to guide you to yourself. Because we are the power. We are very powerful. And it's time for us to remember that. So I just want you to know, I love you all. Y'all take care. Peace, light, and love. One.